All right, I'm going to get my broth going for my chicken and dumplings. Make sure you can see my hands. This is my new thing. All right, I'm going to get my broth going for my chicken and dumplings. I'm going to put in 2 quarts of water. I think that's about right. If you want to know the truth, made them for years and never measured them. And I got my water in. I'm going to turn my stove on to medium low. On my stove, it goes from 1 to 10. I'm going to put it on a 3. I've got 2 chicken breasts. I've used all kinds of chicken. Chicken breasts are good. If you have a carcass from a rotisserie chicken and you want to cook that down and pick the bones out of it, it'll work. I've got chicken base like this. I prefer better than bouillon, but this comes from Sam's Club and they don't sell better than bouillon. I found that out the hard way. I like garlic. I'm going to shake some in here. I'm not going to measure it. Maybe a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons. Kind of depends on how much you like garlic. I like pepper. Same thing. I'm going to cut you off because I forgot an onion. I'm going to put a half an onion in there. Okay, I'm back with the forgotten onion. Just found out if you tap this phone, it turns the light on. Now I got to figure out how to turn it off. Anyway, half an onion goes in. And I don't know if the light is good or not. I'm putting the lid on and I'm going to let that cook until that chicken gets good and tender. It reaches the point where it's about ready to fall apart. I've got it on 3. I want it to just boil. Your stove's going to do a little different. All right, I'm going to cut you off and I'm going to get set up to make the dumplings. I don't know if I have any more weeds. You think I should find something else for you? Huh? Yeah? Tell them you gave up the eggs. You provided the eggs, but not the chicken, right? Tell them you're egg-laying chickens, not meat chicken. That's right. Uh-huh. Egg layers. And you're spoiled. That's right. Okay. You think we should get a little scoop of this chicken food? No, not chicken food. What can we get? We'll come back later with a treat, okay? Okay. Now I'm going to make my dough up for my dumplings. Again, I've got a bad habit of just doing what I want to do. I think I'm going to use 2 cups about flour. So, ½ cup scoop. I'm here in South Carolina, but I'm from Virginia, and my mom was from North Carolina, and I cook like North Carolina. There's 2 ways to go about making these dumplings. Mom made what you call slick dumplings. You see, I put 3 eggs, and I'm on a counter. Could use a bowl, but the counter's going to get dirty. It's the first cool, damp looking day here in South Carolina, and on a cool, damp day, you really got 2 choices. One is make chili, and the other one is make chicken and dumplings. Now, I want to stir this mess that you see until it's all the same, mix a dough, and I'm probably going to have to go over there and get some water to add to it. I don't want my dough really wet. but I do want it to come together and make a ball. I make my dumplings flat. They call them flat dumplings, slick dumplings, whatever. That's what my mom did. Now that's fighting words around here because some people make little dumplings that look like little biscuits, and they drop them into the dough. And they have into the broth, and they have it's baking powder in them, so they rise up and look like little biscuits. This is just not what I'm used to, and it's an argument on what part of the South you're in, which way it's going to be. But I want mine flat as a pancake, and they're really, this what I'm making is pasta dough. I was thinking, you know, we could call this chicken pasta rustica or something like that, and it's way on its way to being Italian. But we never had a pasta machine or anything of that nature. A little bit of water. And get this mess right. I know all the clean freaks have just said, "Oh my goodness, I can't make this." You probably could put this in the food processor, and it would make the dough. It's a thing I actually never considered putting in a food processor. I've always done this. And the dough won't behave right now. We're going to get it kind of the way we want it. Now it's getting on lunchtime. I should have done this an hour ago and I didn't. This needs to sit. Roll all this off of my hands if I can. See, I get into my work. This is, like I was saying, it's an ugly, rainy, cool, damp day. It's not terribly cold, but it's a kind of weather that it's just, it gets in your bones, at least for me. So I need chicken and dumplings. And I need them to be the flat kind, like my mama made, you know? So if you're the kind that makes those little drop dumplings, then, you know, that's your deal. You have to get another video because I'm not going to make them. But this is what we did. I'm chasing this dough all over the place, trying to work as much of this flour up in here as I can. I know that there's going to come a point where I'm going to have to just stop and scrub the table. I knew that when I got started too. If I had used a bowl, I would have had to stop and scrub the bowl. So it comes down to the same thing. But I do want to work into a nice little ball like that. And what I'm going to do is set it off to one side for just a minute, wipe the counter clean, dry out that little bit of water that's left in that bowl, and leave my dough here sitting on the counter with that bowl on top of it. I'm going to let it sit about a half an hour. So it breaks down the gluten in the flour, at least that's what they told me. It does something to it there because when it comes back, it'll be ready to be rolled into dumplings. And I need to get out my rolling pin. So that'll be the next skill after half an hour. Now that's like that. It's going to be too sticky and I'm going to have to add a lot of flour to it to roll it. But that's cool. So we can dry that off. And yeah, I am going to, by the time you see me come back, the counter's going to be clean, but it's going to sit like that for half an hour. Alrighty, it's been a half an hour. Here's my bowl, counter's clean. Now lift the bowl up and put that in the sink behind me and have a look. And you see how sticky this has gotten because the gluten broke down. And what I need to do is get that cleaned off like this, and I'm going to roll these things out where they're flat. I might not sit here with you and let you watch every one of them because it goes on the same, or egg. I might do it and just keep talking. But I'm going to get a little flour on them so they don't stick. And I've considered every which way in the world to do this. I prefer to make them into little balls about the size of an egg and roll each one of them separately. So as it works out, I've got 5 egg-shaped balls here. And I've got my flour, and I'm going to pat them out with my hands like this so they're flat. Roll them in the flour again. And anytime I feel like I need to get some flour, that's what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to take my rolling pin and roll them out good. And naturally, each one of them is going to wind up being a different size. When I make these, put this little tidbit of news in there, I don't put anything in my chicken and dumplings except chicken and dumplings. I see people put broccoli and carrots in there. We never wanted broccoli and carrots in ours. It's just not what I'm used to. They would be good with broccoli and carrots. And you see, I'm going to cut them. I want each dumpling to be about like that. And behind you, I guess I'll ring around where you can see it. I've got a plastic container with a tea towel over it. So I can hang these up and let them sit there. And I want to get them all done before I drop them into my chicken, because I want them to cook about the same amount of time. The thing is to get them all in the chicken and slap the lid back on them and let them cook as quickly as possible so one's not stiff and the other one is cooked. That didn't go right. If I was making a bunch, I wouldn't let them sit out on the counter like that because they're going to dry out. But this is going to go fast enough. I don't think it's going to make any difference. I'm also like being real careful with my counter because I don't put scratches in it. So just barely. And I usually pick each one of these up and give it a stretch like this, and it will stretch. That one broke, of course. Yeah. They never land in the pot the same. Somewhere there's an Italian going, wait, I can roll them all into individual, they'll all look the same. I saw an Italian grandma do dumplings on, or she didn't call them dumplings, pasta of some sort. Oh my word, but this is good. This is the South Carolina version, Southern America version, right? But I'd love to sit down with her and watch her do them. It involved a fork. Beautiful. But this is what we're going to call rustic, and they're good, actually. It smells great in this place. I hate videos that talk about how great things smell, but this stuff really does smell good. I've fed them to a bunch of people and never heard a lot of complaints. Church picnics, funerals, family homecomings, family gatherings of all sorts. Now, at some point in time in life, I did get a pasta machine, and I have used it to make this, and I have actually rolled fettuccine through there. So if you do have a pasta machine and want to use it, you know, it'll work. But if you don't have one, or it's a cool day and you feel like hanging around doing the old-fashioned way, and we're getting to the last one. Over there in my pot, I have my chicken cooking. It's getting good and tender. I took a fork a few minutes ago and broke those 2 chicken breasts into little, like, shredded bite-sized pieces. I mean, I don't want to shred it all down like you were making chicken salad or something, but each chicken breast into, say, 5 or 6 pieces. My bunch, they want some chicken in the chicken and dumplings, but what they really want are the dumplings. A while back, I made a video about how I grocery shopped for cheap, and this is definitely one of the cheap meals. I can easily feed the 4 of us on this, or 3 of us. 3 of us and a guest. There's only 3 of us, but it would definitely go to 4. And I've got 2 chicken breasts, flour, 3 eggs, some oil, salt, pepper, garlic. I don't know what you fix that's cheaper, you know, that you say got some meat in it. You could eat a pot of beans, that would be cheaper. But if you want to fix meat, this is way up there in the cheap department. You know, I think they know they're on camera. Okay. That's the last one. Okay. So what we're going to do, just going to get it rolled out. We'll go back. I'm going to turn you off. I don't want to carry you over there, right? So I'm going to turn you off. Get back to the stove. And we're going to see what the next step of this operation looks like. All right. I'm back over here at the stove. Have a look at my chicken. And it's in little pieces about that size. It's nice and tender. And I think it probably would make sense to get a spoon, taste this broth, make a decision. Of course, I'll make a final decision after I put the dumplings in it. And that's good. I might decide it needs another spoonful of bouillon. Now, I'm going to start dropping these bad boys in here. Trying to be fast, and of course that makes me slower. I want everybody down in that broth. If I have more dumplings than will fit, I can either add more water or I can leave the dumplings over this tea towel, or it's not a tea towel exactly, it's a flour sack dishcloth, and let them dry out. I have done that, and it works just fine. When they get dry, put them in a bag. I think I'm gonna make them fit though. Even if it takes a little bit more water, then so be it. Now this of course is fresh pasta, so it doesn't take a great long time to cook. I don't really know how long. I'd say maybe 5-6 minutes. But what I stand around and do is test them. I'll let you know how long the cooking process actually went. So anyway, lid on. Wait a while. I did turn the stove up a little bit. I told you all 3, and this is more like 5, and I'm probably going to turn it up to about 7. I do want it to bubble. I just don't want it to go over the top. All right. It's getting on that time. I tasted these. They've been cooking. I taste them again. I look at. They floated to the top. You know, you always hear that noodles need to float to the top. They floated. They feel about right to me. I want them cooked, but I don't want them mushy. So what I'm going to do, every one of them's different. I haven't made any effort. You're going to get a noodle that looks like that. I don't want them little teeny tiny. If I was making fettuccine, it'd be a different video. So I'm going to taste. I'm going to put in another bit of the soup base. And I'm going to stop and say right now, a lot of people use a can of cream of chicken soup. But I don't think cream of chicken soup is anything but onion, chicken broth, and probably some milk. And in just a second, we're going to get the milk. Now this was a fighting matter with some of my folks back in the day too. Should you put a creamy substance in your dumplings? And some say yes, some say no. Some say they need the soup. I had 3/4 of a cup of milk and 1/4 of a cup of flour. And I'm going to do it like that and mess up my strainer because I don't want to get lumps in there. If you didn't want to put the milk in, you don't have to. If you want to use cream of chicken soup, you can do that. It's $1.25 a can. I don't want to spend the money on it. All right. Now in the other room, my husband is hanging around out there waiting for this stuff to come up to a boil so he can eat it. He doesn't want to be in this video, but I can hear him stirring around out there. So what I'm going to do is let this come up to a boil, take this dirty plate away, maybe help it come up to a boil a little bit. Turn the heat up. clean bowl. Now, I'm not telling you it's the prettiest dinner that ever was, or even healthiest, but man, it's good. On a cool day like today, I'm weird, right? I don't like to watch people eat on videos. I know people like to. I'm going to show you a good hot shot of this, what it looks like, but I'm not going to show you me stuffing my face with these things. There it goes. There's our boil. Clean bowl. There we go. Cat hears it. Cat smells it. Especially if you're feeding a bunch, and I know about how much chicken is in there. I want each one of them to get some chicken, so. Now, to me, there's not enough pepper on there. You know, as I do this, I see the logic of cutting these up a little bit smaller. Gonna get some pepper. And I'm all set. If I was being healthy, I'd have the broccoli and the carrots, but I don't have them. So, anyway, I'm going to go enjoy these, and I hope you make yourself a pot and have a good afternoon too, the next rainy day at least.